Why does making an intro have to be so damn hard? I'm just not going to do it no more.
It's Drewski McGillicuddy's The Good Neighbor Movie Review.
Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and I'm coming at you with a review for a movie that I watched at like 3 o'clock in the morning just to fall asleep to, and then there it was, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was floored. So I figure, I should tell y'all to stop whatever it is that you're doing right now. Go on Amazon Prime and watch The Good Neighbor. And it stars James Caan, and I even got the secretary's phone because this Logan Miller character guy that plays Ethan, and then there's this Keir Gilchrist, I don't know, he plays Sean, and Ethan and Sean are going to do a little experiment. They're kind of like film buffs, and it's funny because they even have like Plan 9 from Outer Space and Night of the Living Dead poster on Ethan's wall. But basically, they're going to set up this experiment. They got this grumpy old neighbor that they don't like. They got something against this guy. And they're going to set up an experiment where they go over to his house and they set up a bunch of cameras because they want to observe him while they haunt him, I guess. And it's funny because this movie is like very realistic because it's like shot and found footage, but then there's also cinematic scenes. Like the very opening of the movie, you have your establishing shots showing the little town they're in, and then when it's not found footage, it'll show you like the perspective, but it's actually like in 16:9 widescreen or whatever the hell you want to call it. But then the majority of everything that's been filmed with a camera is like a small rectangle in the middle of the screen. Like they shrink down the aspect ratio so you feel like you're really watching like something on a smaller file, I guess. So that attention to detail right there just amped it up a little bit for me because I'm not the biggest fan of found footage, but I won't, discourage myself from watching found footage. And I didn't even realize this was found footage because I watched the trailer first and it didn't look like a found footage movie other than, they show the stuff from the cameras, because once they set up the cameras, they're basically spying on this guy, to see how he reacts to like their haunting, because they mess with the light bulbs, the wiring in the house, and then they set this like little mechanical thing that slams the door open and shut. And it's all harmless. It starts out real harmless. They're just watching him, and he doesn't really react the way they expect to any of the hauntings. Like the lights and the TV come on and flicker, and he's just like, whatever. And then the door is actually pretty funny because the door's flapping. They figured him to get scared. He's just standing there staring at it like, huh. And then he goes. This is the only part I'm going to tell you because this was awesome, and it's also in the trailer. If you do decide to watch the trailer, which I highly recommend not watching the trailer, but he goes and he gets an axe. He just chops the door down. Now what? Huh? You can't haunt him with the door anymore. He cut it down with an axe. Now just imagine you were to come over into the house and do something, and he caught you in his house because, he seems like he's not the nicest person in the world. Like there's this guy walking his dog, and he tells the guy, hey, your dog pisses in my yard, I'm going to cut him up into 4 pieces and mail him to separate parts of the world or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. But then we get to like the nitty gritty. They're wanting to know what's in his basement because they're starting to suspect, there might be something sinister going on in his house. So they want to get down in his basement, but Sean doesn't want to go down in the basement. He thinks that's crazy. But Ethan thinks, well, we're in this together. We got to go, blah, blah, blah. But don't worry about that. Just worry about the fact that the Sean and Ethan, I'm terrible at movie reviews, everybody. Did you know that? But no, Sean and Ethan, holy shit, man. Like, this is like one of those independent movies that came out of nowhere. Nobody knows who these people are. yet that doesn't stop them from giving one of the most authentic performances. Like, these two seem like they're real friends. They also seem like they're real people. They also seem like somebody that I would hang out with. So, plus, he's got a Night of the Living Dead poster on his door, so of course I'd hang out with him. Like, what am I, stupid? But no, it's like you really start, grow to like these guys, and then you find out there's like a little thing. There's a thing that had happened, okay? Because Sean is always staying at Ethan's house, and Ethan, his dad had left, and when you find out all that stuff, you start to think even more. And then this movie just adds more and more stuff that you weren't expecting to be added to a movie that's just supposed to be these kids playing this prank that's basically an experiment to see if you could change someone's perception. Because, yeah, there's a big monologue at the beginning that was, like, really smart, and it made me think, but then I forgot what it was, so I can't tell you. But when you watch the movie, pay attention to the very first line of dialogue or the opening monologue. It's pretty interesting stuff. And so is the fact that, they're watching this guy, and they even say, even when we're not haunting him, it's fascinating just to watch someone. I mean, as creepy and fucked up as that is, you kind of think, it is kind of fascinating to watch somebody and until they go take a shit or something, or, start, touching themselves inappropriately. Like, what are you going to do when you're watching an old man and, sure, he's, a widowed. Is he widowed? Or did he kill his wife? You don't really know. The movie doesn't really tell you. Until the end, and I didn't want to ruin it for you. So now I'm like making you think: did he kill his wife, or is he widowed, or did his wife leave him? Who's this lady? Because some lady comes banging on the door wanting him to sign some paperwork. Are they divorce papers? Who knows? You don't know this, but the movie throws it out there at you, and then you're just sitting there thinking you know what the fuck's going on, and it turns out you ain't got a goddamn clue. And then the other thing, the movie made me cry, and I'm not going to tell you why. But it might make you cry. You might be like, where the fuck did that come from? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I wasn't expecting this to make me all emotional and start thinking about my life. But it did. I don't know. But I cannot, I gotta go. It's almost, I don't have my watch on, but I gotta go to work. Here, take your phone. So yeah, I can't spoil this movie. All I can do is tell you that the performances, especially James Caan, like, it's very subtle. He just seems like this bitter old piece of shit. Anyway, don't worry about it, all right? This movie is a goddamn masterpiece, and you should watch it, like, immediately, because I might watch it again when I come home from work tonight so that I can show it to the secretary. But it's a goddamn masterpiece, and Jesus. Everybody slept. I slept. I mean, it's not the movie's fault that it's an independent movie and that, this is one of those movies, all right, that was at Blockbuster by itself, and everybody was spending so much time renting all the major new releases that this is one of those movies that, people ignored, except for like connoisseurs of film like myself that was like, you know what? There's only one copy, and it's got one of those little fancy things on the back of it from the SXSSW whatever film festival, so it's good, and it's not necessarily for the general population. So, but I think everybody will like this movie, especially once you get slapped around at the end and you're like, what? Like, I had to get up out of my comfy bed and come in and tell Devon Graham, hey, here, maybe I can find the audio recording. Anyway, that's long enough. We've been sitting here. You just go watch the damn movie, okay? And then, if you don't mind, I would appreciate it if you would like this video, comment below, and then you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And you can consider donating to my Patreon, and I'll get better at this. I'll quit using my goddamn cell phone, and I'll go use that $400 fucking camera that I bought 2 years ago that I've only used like a handful of times because I'm stupid and don't know how to use it. But that's beside the point. Anyway, our time here is done.